Which means we are on! Hey there, it is Ben and Darth AlBen. Or as I like to call him, the Oreo face man. AlBen has contracted COVID. No, that's not true. We have gotten a brand new Epax resin printer. We've just test printed that, right, AlBen? Let's test out the sound because
yeah.
I believe. Wait, is this right? Yeah, somewhere in the center there. Oh. Yes, we have our first print, right?
We have our first print. It's a miniature that is saying hello to everyone in the stream watching us.
Yes, indeed. And yes, of course, AlBen, my co-host, and also comrade in the office.
Hey.
We have been busy for another week here at Second Dynasty. Lisa-Lot's gone home for the weekend. It's like, no, she only works part-time. Anyway, we have had an eventful week. We've had a trying week. We've had a relaxing week in some ways. I think it's been a pretty soft week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're getting back into the swing of things. We have some positive news and developments. We have some less positive news and development. But in any case, it's all going forward. And the best thing the latest thing that we are seeing is, of course, this model in front of us. What is it? It is a Type S, but it is not my Type S. This is indeed the great Ian Stead's crack at the Type S that, as seen in T5, Traveller 5 rules. I've been in touch with Ian. We are collaborating for the miniatures. He's providing a lot of the CAD files that we're basing the miniatures on. This is an example of a finished printable miniature. I haven't quite gotten the base into it yet. I haven't decided exactly where it's going to go. We're just waiting. We were waiting for the new resin printer to be tested today. So that's why AlBen has had the mask on.
Yeah.
And been playing with the printer, and we finally got it printing. So
it's finally printing.
Exactly.
Hallelujah.
So thank you to Zorma for the advice on the model, and of course to the community for some suggestions for post-processing. At the moment, we're using AlBen's jury-rigged setup that he had at home.
It's looking very jury-rigged, like Fallout 4 jury-rigged. Or is it 3 perhaps? You can have that like a perk, isn't it?
I'm sure it exists in several different versions. Yeah. So please let us know too how we're sounding today. As you'll notice, neither of us have headsets on. We've got a jury rig in here, you might say, with the microphone in his camera connected to my PC along with the video, so you're getting everything through here. Although we do have, of course, AlBen screen accessible. Oh, you're showing it off.
Let's see.
Yes, that's me.
So it's,
all right, that's enough. You don't need to show my legs anymore.
Okay. No more jury rig for you guys.
So, how's everyone doing in the chat? I see we've got a couple of regulars in here, such as Carbon Head. What a weirdo. No, but Jay Slattery and Mikitron, of course, that blasted Sammerflange. Hi guys, welcome, and welcome to the new guys, or perhaps you're not new, but you're a bit quieter. So yeah, we are
looking at legs apparently.
Oh right, we can go back and look at the legs. Sure. So AlBen, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been working on this week?
We've been talking about landing gears for a while now, I think, but finally we're getting to a point where it actually is kind of working. So I've made a landing gear for the rear. It's in several pieces. It's going to look a little bit weird now, but we can just isolate the main villains, I guess. So if you look at these ones, so it's just going to be. I'm kind of been looking at a Boeing 747 for like basic shapes and stuff like that. For example, the I can't remember what you call it, but it's like based on hydraulics and how it folds into the body and stuff like that.
You have a way to hide your menu? I thought you had to.
Oh, sorry?
It's all right now.
Oh, okay. So anyway, that's where this shape comes from. So it's not going to be actually foldable into the hull. You're going to be able to just grab these pieces and just plop it in. Oh, sorry, these pieces and plop it in basically. So it's going to be very plug and play kind of thing when you get all the pieces printed. So I have a few different ways to. Ah, fuck, that's gone as well. Get this to work because I want it to be able to bear load as well. So basically you have this piece, it's going to be one solid piece later on, that is printed roughly like that. This area here is going to be the one that's going to be against the printing surface. And then you have like a connection point. I'm just going to use open lock clips here for the sake of ease of production and use. This is the wheelhouse. So this is haven't made it the same way I made the front wheels because that was like a two-part model that you could click together.
Yep.
This one instead is easier to print as a whole wheelhouse thing, a whole geometry, and use axes and slot them in for the wheels. So I have like a socket joint basically, a round joint. I'm kind of surprised how well it works. So you just slide these pieces in when you have the wheels. Perhaps I should add them as well. There we go. So you just put the wheels into the wheelhouse and you plonk in the axis, and then this piece is ready to go. And then you have the object that is going to be attaching to the hull, basically. So it's made of a few different parts. This piece, it's going to be connecting to the hull directly by open lock, and it's kind of a similar shape to the original one, but I'm modifying it and giving it a bit more details. So I think it looks more interesting than the earlier versions. This one, I've added a kind of clip that you slide in from the top like this. And this piece here is supposed to be locked into the other shape down here. And I made this piece because I wanted to be able to print flat without having supports. Yeah, basically. So if I would put this geometry together as one solid object, it would be very difficult to print without supports. So I've split it up and I use some rails. So they work really nicely. They are a tight fit and it keeps together quite well.
You've test printed this?
Yes, so I could actually show you on my camera perhaps.
Yes, why don't we do that?
So if you follow along with me for a second. This is me still. We should be able to tear everything apart. Lisa. Let's see now. So if you look down here, this is the geometry that is printed, and that's how it looks when it's in the ship.
Deployed.
When it's deployed. Thank you. It's a bit difficult to see for myself if it's picking up here, but
yeah, it's good.
So here we have the front piece as well. If I got a little bit closer, I made a. I'm not sure what you call it, but it's.
Go a little bit down and to the right.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Now it's fine. Or maybe actually, I don't know if we can do a close up. Yo, it was on your camera. Awesome.
Oh.
There we go.
Nice.
Why didn't I do that earlier? Hang on, I've got to make sure the audio is on both. Yes, it is.
So I made an addition here. So this diagonal strap, or how do we call it? Wow! This piece.
Yeah.
This is slotting in from the behind on the removable clip that is an attach point for the front wheels. so you can change eventually pieces from this one from the different directions. But this one helps to stabilize and lock in place the whole wheel. And I could perhaps take. Oh. Jesus, it's so hot as well.
It's only because you're stressed out because the spotlight is on you.
Oh yeah. Let's see now.
Oh, don't you guys just love our wall of ships back there? I love it.
It's sweet.
And I've got my new toy today.
Okay. So if I put my camera down a little bit here. Let's see now.
Came this morning.
Ooh!
The F1J.
Sexy boy.
It's actually the armor version, but I haven't put the armor on yet. Oh! COVID.
Oh my god!
Alright,
Yeah,
so...
I don't know if you need to show it being assembled and stuff like that, but it's like a...
Oh, okay, hang on.
Hello!
Hello.
Samma!
Hello. So yeah, go ahead and show it.
Oh yeah, so this is the whole assembly.
Yep.
You got the wheels, they are spinning. Kind of sweet, I think. Then you have this open lock piece here, so it comes apart.
Very good.
Then you have this piece. That's the one that I split up because of supports. I didn't want to have supports. But the thing is that you need to take it apart like this first.
Yep.
And then you slide this locking thing up because it's also keeping, except from, it's keeping it attached to the undercarriage of the ship as well as locking in place this piece. So then you can, let's see if I do it the right way, then you can slide it apart like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mixed bag of different pieces that works together quite
really
nicely.
The long and short of it is, it works. How stable is it, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's quite stable. It's become more stable as I've worked through different variants. So I'm kind of close to it being optimized at the moment, I would say. I'm thinking I might have a look at the front piece as well. But the back piece is basically in a good
Place.
state.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, place.
So it's taking longer than we had hoped.
Yeah. Sorry about that,
which is
guys.
sometimes just the case. We hope to be moving on from this very soon.
Yes.
But yeah, that's where we're at with the landing gear. So the wheeled version is well on its way. We're not having a release today, although we probably will have something up early next week. And I mean like Monday or Tuesday. So we'll see where it goes. We don't have the skids yet either, but I assume they're just going to swap out, right?
Yeah. So that's the idea, basically, that you have this assemblement and then you can just change out the wheels for the skids.
Yes, that should be easier to implement than anything else. So yeah, well, great work, AlBen.
Thank you.
What's next after the landing gear for you?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if we have decided where to go after this, but there are a few things that needs to be looked at, like turrets, for example, and ammunition dispensers for the sandcaster and missile launcher.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, and a few other things as well. I've been very focused on getting this landing gear printable and functional,
as well as getting the new what am I looking for? The new printer going.
Oh,
that's taken a chunk of time as well. So yeah, things will probably be back to a faster pace next week, we think. The weather's starting to turn, so we'll have less excuses to take shorter days, and I'm sure things will start dragging on. And not to mention, in the last couple of weeks, both AlBen and I have had our second shots, and that kind of left us a little bit weak for a couple of days and that sort of thing. So, all right, shall we talk a little bit about my work? Also, you might want to put streaming mode on Discord. I forgot to put it on before.
Streaming mode. I'm not sure.
Just for the privacy. Yeah, I don't know where it is in the settings, but it's in the settings.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you worry about it. It doesn't matter because we're not sharing the screen right now. But so yeah, the Type S. Well, let's talk about this. So, I have been given access to 12 models from Traveller 5 5th edition, and I can actually port some of these over. So this model that you see before us is actually this Type S. Some parts have been simplified. Some of this is just illustrations. I had hoped that Ian's work would be a quick conversion, and so that we could knock out quite a few models very quickly in just a couple of weeks, or at least prototypes rather. With the idea being that he has 30-something models that we can convert and make playable. And I was thinking at the 1-inch sort of tactical scale, like this shuttle. So it's got a 1-inch hex down the bottom. That's one version of things. And then there's the 270. Do we have anything at 270? We have a...
Oh, sorry.
We have a Sleipnir at 270. So that's the... We're going to have a better model than this for the Sleipnir in the near future, but that's the Star Wars X-Wing scale. Or rather, it's a bit blended, but that's the scale for most ships in X-Wing. So that might be the one we're going to go on with, although some of the larger ships are quite big indeed. Like if I zoom out here, we've got the Free Trader. They're actually quite considerably similar in size. It's just that there's a lot more volume in this ship. But basically there's a image here, and this is the one I'm thinking of, where we have 12 ships, right? So these 12 ships will be turned into miniatures for the sort of core ships, although we might drop that down to, say, 6, promising 12, so that we can actually get those printed and painted in the time frame that we have, and the rest would be delivered later. Because the thing that we really want to do is launch, so that everything's said and done before Thanksgiving, which would be around about the 25th of... Actually, I think it falls exactly on the 25th of November this year.
Okay.
Or Black Friday, rather. So that's kind of like where we're heading. So John and I have actually been converting meshes as quickly as we can. And the ships we have done is the cruiser here, the escort, close escort, sorry. We have... what else? We've got the Type S done. He's just started working on this one, and I am working on another one of these. So yeah, we have this. Which one am I working on? It's a fan favorite. So for the rest of the session, we're going to have a look at why this is more of a mess than I would hope. This isn't anything against Ian, by the way. This is and his work, by the way. It's just the fact that he has worked in
SketchUp.
In SketchUp, which is not a polygonal modeling tool. It is more like a CAD sort of program, although not even quite that. It sort of tracks everything that you've done. It's like a vectorized 3D thing. So, it took us a long time to clean up, and then this isn't just a clean up here. This is also like an enhancement where I've gone over the mesh and added some more fidelity to it, just so that when you do print it out at the full scale, I think this is scaled to 270 here, and I've scaled the Mercenary Cruiser to the same sort of dimensions. So this is the size difference in relation to one another. So it is a very large ship. I don't know if this will fit on most resin printers or not. I guess it'll probably have to be quartered up or something. But yeah, I'm working on this. It's a bit of a mess. I'm going to turn off some of the enhancements we have here because the lighting and whatnot makes it hard to see. But if we... Wait, why is that? Okay, I've got back face culling off. So you can see here that the normals are actually flipped, which is why certain faces are invisible. So the process kind of... For one thing, it's not all connected together. For another, it is... We have to kind of go in and make these all face the same direction. We have to go into the geometry, make sure that we make a manifold object, but also something that doesn't have all these n-gons. See this L-shaped form here? That is an n-gon. So for example, we would have to add in some geometry here, like so. And this has turned this into a polygon. Quads, rather. That's a polygon. And, you know, we've got similar issues at other points here. So it's basically a big job to sort of clean up. So it's not just a matter of copying. It's a matter of converting and then increasing the fidelity on top of that. Although I don't know how much we're going to practically be able to do or what is necessary for the scales that we're talking about. So let's see, the Type S would be about 13 centimeters, or 14 centimeters. So what's that, like about this much? About 6 inches, a little less than 6 inches. So this, by comparison, you probably, I think the actual ball itself is like just less than 6 inches. So quite large. The main thing I'm concerned about is that we need to get it feeling a little bit more spherical, and that might be a challenge. And it might be just a little bit... We might start with the simpler forms and then work on it from then. The Blasted Seven Flames, you mentioned, new game, Traveller Starship Battles. Traveller actually has had a tactical combat game before called Mayday. And when I pitched the idea of doing these miniatures, I think I may have inspired one Mr. Mark Miller. So we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, for the rest of the session, we're going to work on some of the nonsense we have to deal with doing this mesh. You can see the top half of the ball is actually halved. And that's because I've actually come in and cut it up, realizing that the other half is just a mirror of this one. So technically, all we need to do here is take the central pivot point, which I haven't moved yet. So if I center pivot, and then we'll move this like so. Feel free to talk to AlBen if you want.
Oh yeah, sorry man. I'm looking at illustrations from Ola Larsson. He is a very good illustrator. He has done some background work for a few of Dockhus movies. The last one was Apstjärnan, or the Ape Star. We were talking the other day. He is a big alien fan and like sci-fi stuff like that. So I've checked out his art station a little bit, and he happened to have a illustration of a hangar with a small spaceship or a shuttle that had skids.
Oh, so it does.
And I thought they looked kind of cool, so I asked him if I could look at his work and take inspiration from it. So I'm going to have a little bit of a look at those.
Is it easy to see in the sketch, maybe?
Sorry?
If you scroll down to the sketch, is it easy to see?
Yeah, exactly. It becomes... Oh, I didn't realize I was sharing the screen. Sorry. So I kind of like how it's... I don't know if you say laminated... Lamelled.
Laminar.
Laminar. so, like in different stages. That's kind of an interesting look. They would have to need to be a bit chunkier though, so it can hold the weight. But kind of a cool, unusual design overall, I think. So that's what I'm looking at, getting some inspiration for
Very good.
the next step.
All right, so you're going to continue to work on that in the background.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to Control-Shift-D. That will get us our mirrored version. Although one of the reasons why I hadn't done this prior to this is actually because the second I start combining bits and pieces off this one, we're going to have to recombine that, and this mesh will disappear. So really it was just for reference, for completion, so you guys can sort of see this is more the completed state at the top that we're trying to get to. Color-wise, we're not too worried. This is just what came in the FBXs that Ian sent to me. Obviously, he's put a lot of time into these models. It's just, not super compatible. Although it is way, way, way faster than starting from scratch. But I was thinking, we might be able to get it imported, remesh, and then increase the fidelity. Whereas there's a lot more general mesh work that we're going to have to do. But I know that the Broadsword is one of those models that people are just like, yes, yes, yes. This is really big. And I don't, at first I thought, of all the ships, this one actually has a chance of being built despite its 800-ton size, because the shape of it actually is quite structurally sound. But now seeing all this stuff dangling down below, I'm less sure of that. I think the main issue is if this is 2.5 kilos of plastic, you can multiply this by, well, if this is 800 tons, right, I guess, and that's 100 tons, I guess we're looking at, an 8-fold increase, probably more. We'll see. Anyway, the Safari ship we will probably do of those ones. That would be this one here, right? And so if I had to choose 6, I'd say this one. We'll probably do the Free Trader. We'll probably do the Varga pirate ship. And we're doing this one. I don't know how we're going to stop. But yeah, some are going to be simpler than others. We'll see how far we can get before it's time to go. And of course, we want to do the Type S, but I think John's going to work something out in Deck Designer. I'm sorry, guys, to pull him off Deck Designer. It's just that there's a bit of a time crunch on this. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll be back to it quite shortly. So, I'm going to delete this side again. And I'm going to start cutting up this. So I don't know if we can maybe even quarter this. Is that a proper mirror? No, because there's a little circular thing there. There's probably a few other details that aren't quite perfect, but I'm sure that this has only ever been seen from 1 or 2 angles, so I'm sure it's fine. I'm surprised it's only got like 1 engine. These other ones are actually like ship's boats. So that would be the other candidate for possibly doing it 28mm, but I just don't think we're going to get time. Let's see. Merc could have lots of potential though, lots of variants, some more Star Wars based, some more mech based. You could get to making some Second Dynasty mechs. Yeah. To go
Merc
with
is a
Battletech
game, or?
Sorry?
Merc, is it a game?
No. This is a Mercenary Cruiser. Merc is the short.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what that's about. So yeah, we're going to go in and do things like get rid of these edges. So that's what we'll do for the next hour or so. If you guys want to ask questions, I'm sure AlBen can check out the chat roll as well as me on time to time. But we're generally just gonna do some work. Helt enkelt.
Microtron is offering his assistance in converting meshes of Ian's ships.
Your OCD loves cleaning up endgames.
Oh my god.
That's actually tempting.
Yeah.
I might throw one your way and see what you want to do.
Hey, Microtron, do you do UV mapping as well?
Oh god.
That's nerdy. Sorry about that.
It's not nerdy. But it's funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, I think the next thing to do is trying to make this top half complete, and we're missing a few sections here. So I'm gonna grab the top sections here, and we're just gonna do some kind of split, I think. See, it's a bit of a mess. All this stuff on the inside is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it slices up. And then I'm going to turn back on not two-sided lighting, sorry. Two-sided lighting can be on. Off, I mean, what we want is back face culling off. So we can see that the black facing stuff is the
Not
opposite
PC.
of... Yeah. Oh god, AlBen.
Here we go.
AlBen's had too much sugar today.
Yeah. I've been eating salty sticks. No, what the hell do you call them? Salta pinnar, heter det? Yeah. Salty sticks. It's like breadsticks with salt on it.
It's not. It's pretzel sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you have. It's called the pretzel sticks in English.
I think that's a better way than saying salty sticks, unless they misinterpret what you're talking about.
So you don't get people with actual sticks
I
and salt.
was thinking about something else. It sounds like.
Oh, you're thinking like that. That's very, no, not barbaric, but very human.
All right. Let's see.
They should all be done within 2 weeks.
Oh, the vehicles.
Ah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
We've been test printing a few of those. Actually, we could probably show.
Yeah.
Where did I put it? So, here is the two-seater. Oh, wait, I can't. Yeah, I can only show it here. So.
And here is another two-seater.
That's the old one.
The old one.
And this is the new one. You can kind of see that it has a second set of seats in the back. Sorry, my camera quality is pretty shit. But you can swap that out. And we have the tray back version. So in Australia, this is what we'd call a ute.
A
ute.
ute.
Yeah, a ute. But you'd call it a pickup truck in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there we go.
Is that like a short for something or ute?
Yes, it is short for utility vehicle.
Oh, that's kind of fancy.
What, the name?
Mm-hmm. Take me
Yeah,
to your
it-
utility vehicle.
Oh, that doesn't sound good, AlBen. Maybe we don't need to change the format of this show.
God damn it.
Maybe I need to ring John and Zorro.
So blasted camouflage on. Wonder if the pickup fits into the
No,
purpose?
no,
Oh.
it doesn't. This is for the variant Airrafts package. Oh shit! Did I delete that? Yeah, no, it was never going to fit in there. I think it's kind of the two-seater version should. It's not. It hasn't been changed in. God damn it! Why do I keep pressing delete?
Dimensions.
It hasn't changed in dimensions, no. So that one should work. But yeah, no, the other one won't. So I think we have a version that can be shorter. I'm not sure. So yeah, no, it won't fit in the Type S. God, what a mess this is. Do I dare? I think I'm going to copy this. Center the pivot. I'm going to see, move that aside, just hide it. Because I haven't actually done a combine on this mesh, which I've been dreading, but I'm wondering if I do so, how far we'll get with a
Clean up?
a conform
Oh, yeah.
operation. So you can see that it is all of these faces that it's just selected now. They are now facing. Unfortunately, Maya's chosen the wrong direction, so we'll have to do a flip. But that is, if we reverse that, most faces are now pointing outwards, and there's like a couple of hangers on. So if we go to mesh display conform again, does that do anything? Nothing at all. So yeah, basically these faces. Oh, there might actually be two faces there. Yeah, there is. Okay, so there's a bunch of nonsense in there. And I'm wondering if there's some there as well. Nope, that goes straight through. So if we increase the size of that selection... yeah, it's a big job, this. So if we now flip those, that should look pretty right on the outside. Then we've got all of this artifacting. I don't know exactly why, but then you would have to go in to these sections, and I can see why someone with OCD might enjoy this, weirdly. Like, there is something that is kind of relaxing about it, but it gets frustrating after a while. So basically I'm just trying to get rid of any triangles so that we can easily select polygons again. And then clean up issues like this. This is just, you know, unnecessary. And it's basically like this. What's in there? There's surprises on occasion. Like that's... I'm not even sure that's...
Oh, okay. Nice little hole or extra faces.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's causing that. But in any case, it's like a deformity that needs to be addressed. But why is it? Yeah, I think these can be deleted completely.
Yeah.
Oh no. So it creates a new hole and stuff. So yeah, basically just patching up this sort of stuff. There was actually some double geometry in there, so probably for the best.
Those are A, B.
So you guys can probably already tell this does take quite some time. And this isn't even, you know, at the adding detail phase. I'm just going to delete this and make sure, yeah, there was nothing hiding around there.
That's kind of interesting. I was thinking about that earlier when we were printing. We are going to try and print on the resin printer, the not Epson, it's called
Epax.
E10, isn't it?
Yes. We couldn't get anything, the X10, because it's just not available in Europe at the moment. Thank you, COVID. Everything's COVID's fault.
Yeah. But I'm kind of interested to see, for example, the Type S Instead version, how it performs being printed on that one. It would probably help so you can determine the level of details that are going to be reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be... Oh, God. It's taking forever. Oh, Maya's saving at the same time. That's why. I'm like, why is this taking forever? I thought it might crash too, but...
Oh, man.
And then, like, Maya autosaves, so what do? My instinct is Control S.
Yeah.
You know what it was? I said the word crash, and my body's like, Control
I have this
S.
exact same reaction.
So yeah, there's something hidden under here. I suspect if I delete this... No, not there. Somewhere here. Not there. There? No.
That is so weird. It looks like
it looks like one piece. When I press this and went fill hole, it did not fill this hole. And it had to...
It might be a small triangular somewhere.
Oh wait, no. Here's our issue. Look at this. So that wasn't where it should be, and that means that there's probably another object. Yeah, okay. There's this crappy thingy. That line continues on.
That sucks.
Well, we can fix it easy enough. Yeah, this goes around the whole edge. So yeah, this is caused by, I think, just the... I've not used Sketchup myself, but I'm pretty sure these are just Sketchup artifacts. Like this is Sketchup trying to make an FBX from Sketchup files.
Yeah.
And they just...
Yeah, I mean, basically it's like you would try and do a massive Boolean operation, I guess, when it tries to make everything fit together.
Kind of, yeah, except since it's CAD or CAD-like, it can support, you know, unusual shapes. God, this is just terrible. If you're listening, Ian, it's not you. It's not your fault.
We blame Sketchup.
I'm blaming Sketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blasted Samouflange say he would be swearing like a sailor doing all that.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming all that means cleaning up the mesh.
Yes, the things I do for you guys. Although I guess I do get rewarded in the end when you guys back the hell out of the stuff we make. So,
that's freaking wonderful.
You go. We go through the pain and then get paid for that pain, thanks to you guys. There we go. That looks. Well, no, there's something going on here still. Okay, no, it's just that there's some extra. Is that it? Is it gonna work now? That looks more stable. So yeah, that's just one tiny little piece. And then I assume all this artifacting is because there's a bunch of hidden things in here, which does not bode well.
No.
We could do... Seriously, why is that doing that? Is it just Maya being Maya? Or, yeah, there's no geometry in there. Do I have... what if I put on Maya's own default material? No, it's still there. Oh, not to worry. Not to worry. Let's see. So, MMF reminded me that there's a competition running on. If you've got a type as and you're printing and painting it, you can win lots of prizes, including a printer. Yes, we realize the irony. But you can always use a second printer, right? Especially if you're printing our stuff. So yeah, that you know, I think part of the issue here is we really need to separate this into a smaller section. So I'm just gonna grab. Gonna maybe grab here. Mesh tools. No, separate and then mesh. No, edit mesh. No, hang on. We've discussed moving the show so it's not on a Friday to avoid this mumbling. If it remains, yeah, we've got no excuse after that. Okay, that didn't work. God damn it. Here comes the part with the swearing like a sailor. Yeah, no, if I grab that again and move that out, because it should be separated, we can see where the problems lie. There's a bunch of bullshit in here. Don't particularly feel like dealing with that right now. So what I might do is just cut off. Well, let's first check and see that there's not any hidden shapes in here at the moment. And then I might come down to this band here. So I'm just going to grab these, or really all of these. Would be really good if the selection tool worked. Let's see, these, and then we want these. So I'm just going to reselect those there. So we should just have, if I isolate that, this section here, that's a lot easier to deal with. So we go mesh, and then we go detach, edit mesh, detach, sorry, and then separate. No, it's still not coming free. So the question is, why? There's some nonsense in here. So yeah, John has got different issues he's dealing with. He's working with Blender. It's slightly less annoying, I want to say. God, why can't we just select these? Okay, so this is where it's happening. one of the places. What if we just delete these stupid faces that are completely unnecessary? They're flipped anyway. Oh god, now mine is just not showing what it should. So there's a lot of stuff because this is, I think Sketchup kind of builds things in like parts, and yeah, there's just like, it's almost Lego bricks, but they can intersect with each other. Like here behind there, so, and then you can see it creates all these n-gons. It's not too worried about, you know, creating a clean mesh, which is, you know, SketchUp isn't designed to do this work.
No.
Is the entire ship symmetrical or just the top half? It is vaguely symmetrical, yeah. It's half definitely, and I think quartered we could almost do, but we'd be losing some detail. Like these turrets, I've already done one turret, so I'll just be copying those. And the same is true of these leg sections, I think. So there's definitely sub parts of it, and yeah, it's all frustrating. It's all frustrating, if I'm being honest. I can't find where I was now. Let's see. Was I in here? Yeah, I was in here. So yeah, it would help too if Maya actually did its job and selected. Like you can see there's like all this sort of like when I select things, the fact that, oh wait, is that an issue? No. It could be a culling issue too. Maybe I should see. Wait, let's see if we can find a problem area.
Press 3.
No, you son of a bitch! I went to go and do that.
Oh!
Like
sorry
3, but and then my finger did it, and then I'm like, no. 3 runs a mesh smooth. That would be a nightmare. Much like AlBen.
Much like AlBen.
I'm kidding, of course.
Oh, sorry,
AlBen is great in small doses. So these faces too that are sort of like flipped, usually that means that, see that how it only selects half the mesh? I'm wondering if I select the camera and have a look at the clipping settings, if the problem is related to that. I may need, okay, that works. What if I drop 1,000 off that and then we work on the faces again? Is that working? No. See, it should be highlighting this, and it's not. It highlights when you've got the mouse over. I don't know, maybe mine needs a restart, but I'm not going to do it now.
That might usually comes up when it
What you
needs a
mean?
restart.
Have you tried turning it on and off?
Yeah, basically.
Oh crap, I took out a wall I shouldn't have. Do I want to go back? This needs to be recreated anyway, so I don't know. Might actually be easy to take this out. So I'm just going to do a few bits at a time. Oh, it does seem like it selects the... No. You see all this artifacting? I have
What
no idea.
happens if you press 4 when you select and... oh, you mean the faces doesn't even
yeah, in
highlight?
wireframe it works, but it's like... And actually you can see here what kind of a nightmare mesh this is.
Fuck, look at that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the hell is it doing?
Anyone who's...
It's at every angle.
It's an n-gon.
Oh my god.
And that n equals very many.
Gives me chills in the middle of the late summer heat.
AlBen's very dramatic.
Yes.
That's why we love it.
Oh. Well, John was going to stream something today, wasn't he?
No?
Ah, I thought I told something about it on Discord.
Oh, maybe he's streaming later himself when he's working on things. He did.
I think it was something like that. But
he asked for permission to show his work. Because he wasn't sure if we were showing this yet or not.
Ah,
I think it's safe to say if we're going to have a campaign in the next couple of months, that it's probably a good idea to actually just be open and share. So, yeah, John isn't a 3D modeler. He says that, but he's kind of like ironically.
It's an ironical.
Let's just say in the Traveller universe, he has 3 ranks in Jack of Trades, and that will make sense to the Traveller people. Traveller role-playing game people. Obviously, the Traveller people might be confused by that. Assuming that's the... Yeah, anyway, let's move on from that powder keg.
Okay. 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, yeah, he's streaming at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which I assume is... How long is it in?
Is it like...
Wait, that's a couple more hours, right?
I think so.
So we're getting close to 10 a.m., right?
I would...
On the East Coast?
Something like that.
Yeah. So...
Oh my god. Jay Slattery. Sorry, man. More beer. Oh my god.
You have beer?
He has beer?
Son of a bitch.
Me wants beer too.
I don't know if I made this better or worse. When I extend this... Okay, the problem's still over here somewhere. So...
Oh, it's apparently 6 hours minus... do you call it global time or no? Greenwich.
UTC. You can't say Greenwich Mean Time, but GMT. Greenwich.
Greenwich.
It's a place in Britain where presumably they came up with the concept of international time and thus chose their own place.
Isn't there like a rail in the middle of the village or something like that? That
Sure.
denotes the... what do you call it? The timeline. God damn it.
Ooh, yeah, look. That looks like it's selecting. Now we just need to get this part.
Blasted camouflage. Wonder if the legs are identical.
That's a good question. I think so. They look like they're just copy and pasted. They look quite similar. Yeah, I would say yes. So, in any case, you know, we're not doing a full-scale miniature at the moment, so that's probably good enough.
Yeah.
Let's separate this and this. Mesh. Separate. And now it's separate objects, finally.
One.
So we can take this and this, and we can merge these together. And then we need to join the vertices, making sure that we've got a nice low distance threshold. And then, of course, we are back at the stage of being able to do something about this. So it looks like it's integrated all right, but are we missing anything? That looks all right. That looks terrible. But I assume the leg is there somewhere. This side also looks terrible. So we're kind of like going through and patching things up, and the colors are going to look horrible. Wait, is that... Yeah, okay. That's some nonsense going on there. This looks like it needs to be filled in. And really, this is already too big to do anything sensible, but let's see if we just grab this side as well. Looks like, yeah, we have this section which is sort of free. We can delete this face because we just reconstructed that. These parts should just come loose straight away. No, I was wrong. I was wrong.
God damn it.
Back up, back up. No, these parts, I mean. So that and that. But not that, no. So mesh, separate. Was that right? Yes. Alright, we can combine this again. We can combine this. And then we do like so. Merge the vertices. So it is a long, laborious process. It would almost be as quick to just build something new on top of the old, but yeah, so you put a podcast on in the background, and I guess technically we could switch ships. I'm already a bit sick of this ship, to be honest. Last night I was all like enthusiastic and excited about working on it, and then that enthusiasm has slowly died throughout the day. Actually, I was really excited to come to work because of my VF1J. I've always wanted the VF1 is my favorite Valkyrie.
Yeah, that was really pretty.
And I was like, oh, why don't they have any? And they did. And it cost me many yen.
Everything costs a lot of yen, though, I guess.
In a way, you guys paid for it. I said, no, I'm going to get one Macross toy every campaign.
Jay Slattery wants to know if you are near a bridge.
If I am near a bridge?
Yes.
What are you cyberstalking us?
Perhaps.
There are bridges close by.
Should we look out at the bridge, perhaps, and see if Jay Slattery is there?
I'm quite sure they don't mean the walk bridge.
Ah, got it. It's not here.
I heard a noise in the background. Oh no, no, we're not near a bridge in that sense. No, I don't know what you would have heard in the background, to be honest.
It might be the fan for the printer. I basically took a bathroom fan. It's like a cylinder fan. I'm not really sure what it's called in English. Tube fan, perhaps, a small one, and you rigged it to the printer, the resin printer, so it pumps out the fumes through the window in this big
there goes
public area outside of here, I guess.
There goes our environmental ratings.
Sounded like a rumble plate on the road. Rumble plate.
I mean, there's a road out there, and it might be something like that. There's like a bus stop. I don't know. I don't know if any plates though. I didn't hear anything. This is the kind of engaging conversation we come here for.
Slow TV.
Slow TV. Yes. I can't believe it's a Friday already. It seems like this week's gone so quick.
Yeah, goddammit.
It's a nice afternoon, though.
Yeah.
What are the chances my wife's gone to Systembolaget?
You tell me, man.
Those chances are good.
The
question is, did she buy me beer?
Oh. She went there and didn't buy. That would suck, I guess.
Yes. Well, it's not too late to take matters into my own hands either.
So, yeah, Slattery wonder if the resin printer gives up fumes, and yes, it does. I'm not really sure about the chemicals, the makeups, but there are fumes involved. So you have like carbon filters and stuff like that inside of the printer. But that is rarely enough. It gives off a little bit of smell as well. That's the main issue, I would say. I mean, if you don't wear respiratorial equipment, thank you, you might develop like itches in your throat and stuff like that. So it's mildly irritating.
Much like AlBen.
Like me. I might be more than mildly irritating at times, though. But yeah, you need to have it in an arid place, lots of ventilation, preferably. The wives are spending your money makes me want one.
To be fair, I've spent a lot of her money in the past, so
it all evens out.
she kind of supported me while I was at university, so it's nice to get out of university with no debt.
That sounds awesome. I don't really have much debt either, actually.
Well, that would be because we pay tax to have free.
Free education!
That's right. So what we're talking about is I didn't borrow any money from the government to live whilst I was studying.
That sounds kind of cool, though, borrowing money from the government.
Well, what else would you call it?
No, you would call it that, but I mean, it sounds very grand or something. Like you are starting your own breakout republic or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a mess. Come to American colleges. I'm okay. I'm going to do a pass on
we're
that
good
one.
with that, thanks. I'd rather get, a good free education.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really free. You know what the difference is? We just pay more tax. And that tax funds schools and healthcare.
Mm.
You know, the only insurance I have is like for my car and my house, and then in case of death insurance, basically. Or maiming, that sort of thing. Everything else, like cancer, all that sort of thing, don't have to worry about that. Government takes care of that. No, we don't have free healthcare, sorry. You have a maximum payment you have to pay every year, which tops out at about 800 crowns, and that's literally like $100.
Mm. Tell that to the American bureaucracy.
Yeah, we can talk about the quality and speed and efficiency of those things because, politicians have partially destroyed the wonderful healthcare system that was here. And now there is an issue with bureaucracy, I would say, in this country. But I like the peace of mind. Hey, we're already at 4 o'clock. Do you guys? We're going to continue doing this for a bit. Would you rather just stay on? That we stay on for a little bit, or should we end things here? I'm going to sneeze.
Thank you.
That was kind of in your direction. Sure, stay on. Well, someone's here talking to us, so.
Thank you.
Oh, I see Craig is on as well. Craig, I know how you feel now, man. Yeah, there's a lot of... there are other tools you can use to reconstruct some of these things, but I think the next key thing is going to be rebuilding these engines. And actually, I'm going to do some examples of how you would rebuild stuff, because I will build it back better. Assuming we have some hard edges here, which we do. Like, ideally what we would do here is probably just destroy that, and then I'm gonna get these polygons to match. Oh, I've got to press enter. Oh, this is gonna take a lot of resources, damn it. So we'll see. This is not the most effective way of doing things, mostly because there's a lot of stuff on the screen. Oh, damn, there's not a vertex there. So I'm going to have to go down there.
So Craig wanted to let you know that he's been dipping in and out the last few minutes only.
Well, that's all right.
You're very welcome.
We've just been complaining about the pains of converting a mesh from SketchUp. which of course you know very much about since you did that awesome jig.
Oh, you work in SketchUp as well, Craig?
No. He
No.
got the files like us from
Ah,
Ian.
oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember you were talking about that earlier at some point. My head is a bit of a scattered place, though, so things come and go as they please, unfortunately.
What? In your brain?
Yeah.
Where have I got that Cranberries song stuck in my head?
No idea.
Zombie.
Ah! God damn it.
You know, what's
Should
in
have
your
seen
head?
that one coming. In your head. In your head. Zombie!
I
How to get
apologize to
demonetized.
the crowd for AlBen's Friday madness.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. What was the ship called?
I said it, the jig.
The jig.
Or gig, whatever, I don't know. People
It's like a
pronounce it
GIF
different.
or a GIF, I guess.
I guess, but it's...
In space.
Someone's going to correct that.
Uh,
Which ship is this? Does that make more sense now?
mm-hmm.
This is the Broadsword Mercenary Cruiser. And, oh, we've also done the Type S. Ian's Type S. So that's ready to go. And John's done the Beowulf, but it needs some increases in fidelity. And he's also done the Close Escort.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Which
yeah,
is
that's right.
massive.
Big chunky boy!
Yes. So I'm a bit concerned about those in 270. Too hard G's in... It's too hard G's in gig. Who decided that?
Gig. Too hard G's. They are too hard.
They're too hard
So
for me
you
to
have to
pronounce. So it will
soften
be
them
jig.
out. Jigs. It's a jig! Spare me.
I mean, j. I don't know.
My name is Jeff. That was stupid. Stupid is what stupid does. Isn't that a phrase?
It is a phrase. You are correct. Oh,
Woohoo! Not a good ship for a belter.
what, the Mercenary Cruiser
Not sure.
is apparently very badly sized from the 800 tons it's supposed to be. Do you know what size it's supposed to be? Because I just looked at someone's sketches from the side and extrapolated that it's like 37 meters in the ball from one side to the other. So basically it's a scout ship turned on its, backside, pointing upwards from there to there. Mostly. See, we recreated some of this. The deck plans, when you count the squares, don't get anywhere near 800 supposedly. Oh, right, yeah. Well, I mean... Yeah, fair enough. That kind of makes sense. It doesn't feel like it's really big enough. But, that's old school Traveller. It wasn't engineered by engineers. In any case, I'm just building it right now, or modifying rather what we have here. So yeah, this is the alternative method. Instead of like just trying to stitch it all together, is that you just rebuild the geometry with the other geometry underneath. And if I do this, halve it there, and then do half of that, and then half of that, we've got the top half, and we can kind of like just cut it.
Like a fish.
Cut it, not gut it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really don't like these artifacts, and I don't know why their Maya is being Maya. I wonder if maybe the issue is, what else could it be? If we reverse this and put this at 10,000 and that at 1. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe we have something here. Oh, that looks better. Does it look better when we're using it? It does! So was the camera, to go back to it, the camera near clip and far clip plane, that's what we were seeing, some clipping. So I had previously adjusted it because the files actually were this size when they came in. So these have been scaled up about 3.5 times to get to 270. Doo, doo, doo. There we go. So yeah, we're just very slowly rebuilding things. Okay. Wait.
The blasted camouflage is saying if all the engines are the same, make one object and rotate them in place for other 3.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing.
Yeah, that's standard procedure.
Carry on, Miss Sophie.
Same procedure as last year.
That's the one.
Yep. Happy New Year.
Whoops.
Happy New Year. Yeah,
AlBen's excited about ABBA making a
that's
comeback.
fucking crazy. I mean, that's weird. I usually never. I mean, you listen to ABBA a little bit because it's Swedish, I guess, and it was big for a lot of people. But I'm kind of a person who becomes like. I'm not really sure what it's called in English.
Nostalgic?
No, it's more like obstinate, or when something becomes popular or is popular, stuff like that.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah, it rubs me the wrong way, basically. So I tend to ignore things like that. That's really annoying when if there's like a good movie going on the theaters and stuff like that, everyone is talking about it. Then I become like, god damn it, I can't really watch it. I don't know why I'm like that, but that's how I'm working.
No one knows
No one knows.
the way you are.
No. I'm one of those mysteries. But the thing is that I've been feeling like that about ABBA. When people are really excited about them, usually, it rubs me the wrong way or something like that. But then, when I heard, I think it was this morning or last morning or something like that on the news.
They said you're a hipster.
God damn it. Yeah, I'm too old to be a hipster, I think. But I heard about ABBA and I got really excited, actually. I don't really know why, but it's like they haven't made anything for 40 years or something like that. And suddenly they just, we got new music. And it seemed like something you actually need with this pandemic thing. Something that lifts you up. So it's kind of weird for me, but it seems that I've become more emotional in that regard, I think. So now, it feels wonderful!
For Ian's fiery gun escort, his jig. No, wait.
Gig?
Gig.
Geek?
Like, are you saying it's pronounced like a rock gig? Like a concert you got a gig on?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Giggity.
Yeah, rock jig. Okay. Look, in Australia, we still spell jail Gaol, so that might explain it.
Oh, that's weird.
That's how it used to be spelled.
That makes more sense then.
Yes. Anyway, it's not that much of an irony if you think about the history of Australia that we've got the old-fashioned word for jail. But okay, so for Ian's fiery gunned escort, his gig and an A2 I'm now working on, I've found that scaling up by 20% drops neatly onto a 28mm grid. Okay. And then the question is about how the engine cones are going. But we haven't done any more engine cone work, though. It's released now. You can get them on
On my mini factory.
That is correct.
The thing is that we had a lot of interesting design suggestions on the Discord about squared off engine cones and stuff like that. But the thing is that I need to produce all the other stretch goals first. And we need to get the tactical minis up and running.
What's going on there?
Then we will see if we get to the other alternatives. So it's not at all written in stone that they are going to be a thing yet, unfortunately.
No, exactly. And that's just the way of things, We need to prioritize getting stuff done first, and then we can look at it again when we're a bit further along. God, look at all this crap.
Man, I keep getting tunes in my head.
ABBA?
Nah, just random tunes like.
Well, we were listening to that.
Come
80s.
along with me. It's like old 90s stuff, and I don't know.
And we can do the 90s next week. We did the 80s today.
Yeah, that was fucking sweet. Listen to Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and stuff like that. I haven't done that for ages. It was a really good compliment for a Friday work session, I think.
There you go. AlBen's workload is immense. Well, our workloads are immense. We're trying to get two things. I've also, not gotten very much done on the beta Centauri this week, just because we've been trying to figure out how to solve this issue with the issues we've had with translating models and things, and I guess technically I pulled John off deck designer temporarily for the same reason. So we are actually probably doing a lot more than we make it seem. But yes, AlBen does have a huge workload. But he's getting along there.
Yeah. And that's always the balance you have to do when you're producing 3D assets for anything, basically. Like, for example, for movies or games or anything like that. It's a big part of this is a artistic expression mixed with technicalities, or whatever you call it. But that means that when you have like this design or idea that you want to produce, especially, at least in my case, you tend to get hyper-focused on it, and it might detract from the big picture, basically. So if you have like a big project, you need to be producing stuff continuously for the whole process. And when you work in this kind of creative thing, usually when I worked in 3D, it's been for like medical films, like patient information and stuff like that. It's not really stimulating in the same way. So then you're more focused on producing the film and getting it out. Now it's like, oh my god, this wheelhouse is going to look amazing, and I want to add this detail and that detail, and how am I going to make these pieces connect together and stuff like that. That you get more creatively inspired, so to speak. So that might actually work to your disadvantage at times, unfortunately.
I don't know. At the same time, he's trying to impress you guys, so it works both ways. But yeah, I definitely look. AlBen wasn't going to get that far on those engine things, because I've basically been at a point where it's like, yeah, you've been on this for a couple of weeks now. We've got to move on. And that's just the case, Like, at the end of the day, I would love to revisit a ton of my stuff. And I have, in some ways, some stuff, you always think of better ways to do things. But, also running a business.
Yeah, exactly. We got the deadline to
I mean, you can't always keep it either. Like we were looking to get the what is it? The landing gear done by Wednesday, and that came and went. But we had the 3D, the resin printer come, and you know. Then I got distracted playing with my Macross toys. No. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's fun as well. That's part of the issue. It's actually fun.
Exactly.
So you know, you end up spending. Well, I mean, look at these files that Ian made, right? Like, yes, they're being used for illustrations in books, but these are probably hundreds and hundreds of hours of work. Just wish he worked in Maya. But then maybe he will be releasing this instead.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Well, the issue is as well, it's kind of difficult to be as expressive in Maya compared to SketchUp, because you have to work in a specific way all the time. Otherwise the tools won't work. Like, for example, when you have STL files, for example, they will always get triangulated. And when we work in 3D, we always use quads, it's called. It's like you have polygons that are four-sided and four-edged, rather. And
Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Dawn. When you have tools that are optimized for that kind of workflow, and you suddenly get a model that have nothing in the way of quads, it's going to be a mess. So you have to have a very specific mindset when you produce things in Maya, for example. But when you use like SketchUp and you're going to use it, as we said earlier, for illustrations and stuff like that, you just want the render to look good, and you can just mash together different shapes, and it works very good.
Except when you convert it back to Maya.
Yeah, so it's the translation between the programs that becomes an issue.
Yeah, well, it is kind of like the difference between making raster graphics in Photoshop or using Illustrator with vector graphics. So it's like one can translate more easily to the other, you might say, but you do lose, you know, some fidelity in the process. We don't like to lose fidelity. We want to have more fidelity. But, you know, like, we can more easily, once we have this done, we have more control over how we can modify things and, you know, get that detail pushed in. And that's really what we're doing. We're setting it up so that that can be done. If not in this path of detail, maybe in the future. I think we're probably going to get to a point where we make these printable, and then we'll see how they look to determine...
yeah.
Wait, what's happening there? Okay, there to there.
I mean, I'm not sure when we're going to do that, but I think the Type S is kind of close, wasn't it?
The Type S is essentially at a point where we could test print on Monday.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
It's manifold. It just needs some supports built. And we need to figure out where the, you know, we're going to put the support hole in for the actual stand. But other than that...
Oh, okay. So it's... a pretty it's pretty close in time that we're going to be able to test print and see what kind of fidelity we're going to have in the prints.
Yeah, I mean, the printer that we got is very... It's a 4K mono, so it's quite quick by resin standards, and it is also... has a very big build plate, so technically we could do a lot at once. That's the idea. I just wanted to future-proof things. Like, this will not be a printer that everyone has, so we'll try to keep that in mind.
The thing is, we could actually perhaps try... I have a Photon S, so we could potentially try on that one as well to see how it turns out, because that one is only 2K and it's a very common model. So we have a future-proof thing, and we have something that is mid-tier or perhaps low tier. I'm not super into well versed in resin printers.
I would say that the EPAX is probably mid tier because it's, I think it was $650 or something, euros maybe, but like it's definitely cheaper than a Prusa.
Yeah.
But it's not cheap, but it's not like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right, I don't want to go down that far because I just want the split to be even there. So this is a basic shape that I think we're gonna have to like.
Yeah, Craig is commenting that 2K is very typical. 4K for resolution is generally used with larger volumes. Yeah, so I think the build plate is like almost twice the size of mine or something like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big build plate. So we'll still try and keep things, at a reasonable. Well, I don't know. I don't want to promise too much either.
Nah.
I don't want to go crazy with resin. It's a new technology for me. AlBen has a bit more experience with it. And I'm thankful for that because honestly, I probably would have just designed for FDM otherwise. And we will make it so that you can still print these in FDM, but obviously going to lose some details. So we felt like when we're working at this small scale, FDM printers have become so common. Resin printers have become so commonplace now that we felt it was a sensible choice to support, to actually do some resin printing this time around.
Yeah.
Compared to the other times that we've stuck almost completely to FDM with a few exceptions for control panels or this sort of thing.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, I think, at least, because I mean, in this scale, you're basically in the scale of ordinary character miniatures. I mean, volume-wise, if we were to print for D&D or Traveler or something like that characters, you would almost use the same amount of resin as for these tactical miniatures. They might be a little bit more, I guess, but it's more difficult to print it on an FDM.
Difficult, probably not as difficult for ships. I mean, these have been done with FDM and they come out all right considering, I think. But yeah, it's definitely gonna look better in resin.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cheap as well. You can get a good resin printer, decent for this at least, for like $200 or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's not cheap over time, but
no, but resin has got like the price of the printers themselves. I would say has gotten cheaper than FDM printing. But the actual materials,
that's the
are
issue.
Still 3 to 4 times the cost, or more. Especially if used to premium sort of materials to work with. Right.
But that's kind of why it makes sense to use it for miniatures as well, because you don't really use as much material, I guess.
Well, I guess not. God, why is it like that? Why is it?
Yeah. Let's see now.
I mean, it's not that much of an issue either. This is one of those details that's gonna like almost not show up. So, I think the next step will be to basically grab this leg, do it by itself, like convert it and separate it, and then to start mirroring around. So we can just completely remove those legs and do a section. We're hitting 4:30 now. We do want to put these things up on YouTube at some point. So I think we're going to leave things here. This is like an eternal project. I'm going to tackle this some more off stream and then on Monday. And hopefully, after another full day, we're going to have something that's close to printable. Although I don't know that we'll be able to get to increasing the fidelity just because of the way the sphere is sort of made. So we will see.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us again. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, wherever you are, and hopefully you found this informative, interesting, understand the frustrations we live with. It's absolutely, for all of my complaining, I am a bit of a bitchy person. But for all of my complaining, honestly, having Ian's base models to build these off is just making this entirely possible. Otherwise, we'd be starting from scratch. He's gone through carefully and built all of, this. These are pretty detailed models when you look at it. Even if, they're quite polygonal and simplistic, like this sphere isn't really that round. It's still, incredibly detailed, a ton of, a good skeleton to build miniatures off of. And get these onto, your gaming table is what we're kind of excited to do. We'll be back. It's apparently Labor Day weekend. We don't celebrate that here, but thank you anyway.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We'll be back next Friday. We may switch to Thursdays in the future, but that's probably a couple of months away. So, thanks again, guys. I'm going to stop rambling now.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.